Anthony Fantano, he is, I'd say, the most popular music critic online and on YouTube. Even if you agree or don't agree with his ratings and scores, which I mean I can understand why you wouldn't, there's no denying that he's a great reviewer. But there's stuff people know about him, and there's theories that not many people are aware of, like Anthony and Cal being the same person. If you don't know how an iceberg video works, at the top of the iceberg it is the most well-known things about that person or topic, Fantano in this case, where even someone not a fan of him might know about them, and at the bottom it is the really niche stuff that are either theories not many people know about or stuff discussed within the fan base that also not many people know about. This iceberg was compiled by the user xcxfalling on Reddit. A lot of research went into this video, but I don't want to waste your time, so let's just get into it.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
Probably his most notorious and controversial review. You don't have to be a fan of Fantana to know he gave My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a 6 out of 10. Anyone who is at least in the music scene online is probably aware of this review. Fantano's final scores are harsh and he's pretty critical, so whenever he gives an album a 10 out of 10 score, it's always a big moment. He gave out his first 10 on April the 20th of 2012 to the album The Money Store by Death Grips. Then the second 10 out of 10 was To Be Kind by Swans, then probably his most popular 10 out of 10, To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar in 2015. Then we had Kids See Ghost in 2018, as well as You Won't Get What You Want by Daughters, and his latest additions to the 10 out of 10 list come in 2021 in The Turning Wheel by Spilling and Tinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota. He has since done videos where he goes over every decade and lists albums he thinks are 10s, like Mad Villainy and Discovery as examples. Not only has he given 10 out of 10s, he has also given 0 out of 10s. These are albums that he thinks are worse than a 1 out of 10, which I don't know how that's possible. Speeding Bullet to Heaven by Kid Cudi, which okay, that one I understand. There are a couple of more, but his latest one is X by Ken Carson, which released in 2022. He's a melon. There's not much to this. His nickname is Melon. He is a melon. The nickname actually came from a British artist named Zombie after he called him a melon on Twitter a while back, but yeah, pretty cool. This clip comes from a TikTok of his where he's reacting to someone absolutely obliterating a pizza by cutting it into 700 slices. And yeah, Melon over here doesn't seem to be too happy about it.
That's good. It's enough slices!
Another one of his most notorious reviews, after giving Kendrick Lamar an 8 for Section 80, a 9 for Good Kid Mad City, and a 10 for To Pimp a Butterfly, this came as a bit of a surprise to people when he gave Damn a 7 out of 10. Let's Argue is a series Fantano does on the Fantano channel where he goes over hot takes that his fans send over to him. They're unpopular opinions and he shares his own piece of thought on them. Sometimes he agrees and sometimes he doesn't. Again, not much to this one, but there's a lot on this boy right here, okay? There is a lot of meat on this boy. And also, this clip of him exists getting ready to film a video.
Damn, boy, he's thick! Boy, that's a thick-ass boy! Damn!
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
Cal Chichester is a character made by Anthony Fantano, who is just Fantano with a certain German leader's mustache from the 1940s. You may know him, his name is... He randomly appears on reviews to either conversate with Fantano and annoy him, or to just do, I don't know, random stuff. The Top of the Morning Dance is something Fantano uploaded on his TikTok. The song Range Brothers by Baby Keem featuring Kendrick Lamar had just dropped and went viral for Kendrick going
top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
So Fantano did a dance to it on his TikTok and it went sort of viral. Fantano prides himself as having pretty good teeth, going as far as saying he has the best teeth in the game. And that is literally it for this category. He talks about it in quite a few of his videos and it's now a running joke in the community that he acknowledges. Fader back in 2017 released an article about Anthony Fantano where they accused him of pandering to the alt-right and that he used a channel of his to win over the alt-right. Oh my god. Fantano made a 21-minute long video debunking everything and pretty much saying how the article was ridiculous and that the Fader do not have the brain capacity to understand what a meme is. Fantano wears a certain outfit in each one of his reviews that gives off a rough idea of what the score is going to be, the most iconic outfits and prevalent being the red and the yellow flannel. The red flannel can be seen on reviews where he gives a negative score, and the yellow flannel can be seen on reviews where he gives off a very positive score, usually above an 8. It's become a part of his brand and people can look at the thumbnail and maybe get a rough idea of what the score is going to be. There's other outfits and flannels as well, like the blue flannel, which is associated with 6 out of 10s, but the red and yellow flannels are the most well known. Swimming is an album by Mac Miller that gets quite a bit of love online and in the rap community. When it came out back in 2018, it had a very positive response. However, Fantano on August the 10th released his review of the album, which is one of his most controversial reviews to date. He gave the album a 3 out of 10 and wore the iconic red flannel. The community, of course, did not like this, and it goes down as one of Fantano's most disliked reviews. On the Fantano Forever subreddit, which is the official subreddit of Anthony Fantano, user Spooky the Boy back in 2017 asked him how many upvotes to make you call yourself Anthony Fantano in the next review, which Fantano responded to with 5,000. Since this, the post on the subreddit has nearly 42,000 upvotes. I can't actually find proof if he did or if the DM is even real. There are people saying it's fake, but we stick with the lore, okay? Most people in his community know that he is indeed a vegan. He even has it in his Twitter bio, a thick vegan melon with the best teeth. Fantano has another channel that goes just by Fantano. On this channel, he lets his character shine through a bit more, and it's the channel where he does the Let's Argue videos, track reviews, cringing with videos, and other series that he doesn't cover on the Needle Drop channel. I will just put these two together as they go hand in hand. Fantano's comment section has some serious comments giving their thoughts on the album being reviewed, but most of the time it is just memes. A popular format of memes in the comment section is the good review but comment, where someone will make up a complete lie about what Fantano doesn't review or something along those lines. Not Good is a series he does on the Needle Drop channel that doubles as an album score. The Not Good rating is usually seen as a dud. Many people consider it to be just as bad as getting a 1 or 2 out of 10. Now, of course, it is Fantano. He doesn't go without his fair share of controversial Not Good scores like the Hendrix review, where he gave the album a Not Good. Transition is a term Fantano uses as a way to end a review. He starts off by saying tran and then says scission, and the screen changes to the outro of the video. It's iconic at this point and it's present on every one of his reviews. This is also one of his most popular reviews, and you would assume since it's Lil Pump, he wouldn't give it such a high score. But no! In 2017, Fantano reviewed the self-titled Lil Pump mixtape and he scored it a 7 out of 10, which is a very positive score coming from Fantano himself. At this time, Lil Pump was dividing rap fans. Some liked him, some didn't, and the old heads wanted to shoot themselves because of him, so this was definitely an interesting and unexpected score from Fantano.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
In the first week of each new year, Fantano reviews 5 albums, Monday through Friday, which he considers and are widely also considered as classics. He started with these in 2011 actually, just as it was about to be 2012 in a 50,000 subscriber special. If you want to help me do a 50,000 subscriber special, then just subscribe, please, just subscribe, I'm begging you. The first ever classic review is Godspeed You, Black Emperor's Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Antennas to Heaven. Fantano has a sponsor on his videos actually. Over at the Fantano channel, it is quite more common to see him talk about Ridge wallets, which seem to have been sponsoring him for a long time now. The sponsor also makes appearances over on the main channel, mostly on the series where he ranks the tracks that came out in a certain week. Fantano reacted over on the Fantano channel to Mac Miller's Good News. The track is generally looked at as pretty hard hitting, and it clearly hit Fantano pretty hard as it brought him to tears. There have been many memes made about Fantano crying to different things, which he doesn't seem to be too happy about.
This is a little weird for me. This over here is weird for me.
Nav doesn't have the most critically acclaimed music, if we can put it that way, but this man is cursed at this point, okay? Every review that Anthony Fantano has done on Nav has been very negative and a not good. An exception is his latest album, but that was reviewed by an AI. Yes, look, I know. And he gave it 4 out of stars. I don't know what, but he was wearing the red flannel and he put it on the Not Good playlist, and it was also in his worst albums of 2022 list, so I assume he is not the biggest fan of the album. As we talked about before, when Fantano originally reviewed Damn, he gave it a 7, as I said in the tiers above. However, later on, he did a video 10 times I changed my opinions on an album, part 2, and he said he enjoys Damn less than when he originally reviewed it, so I assume it's probably down to 6 now. On the 18th track of Beer Bongs and Bentleys, Post Malone actually has a line about Fantano saying, "Your new shit sucks, I feel like Anthony Fantano." Usually artists seem to see Fantano pretty negatively, but this is definitely not as bad as others. He's just highlighting how Fantano is pretty harsh. Fantano actually had a whole tour set up from 20th of October up until the 30th of October of 2017, throughout the whole of America. Thing is though, remember those alt-right allegations that the Fader did? Yeah, that kind of screwed up everything. The tour was cancelled by force, and Fader has a pretty big role to play in his cancelling of the tour. Pretty sad how false allegations got it cancelled. Fantano started streaming on Twitch in 2020, where he would react to albums. However, he would upload these reactions on TND Streams, a channel of his, but not every reaction, and the reactions he did upload, they were definitely more cut up than the actual reaction. I assume that's just to avoid copyright. The boy likes his money. This is where a plethora of channels who'll re-upload the raw live reactions come in, and the main one is Dupli. He used to upload a lot of reactions Fantano did live, but since he seems to have removed them and now focuses on his own YouTube career, I don't know why he removed them, and maybe due to Fantano's request. We simply just wanted to move on from that form of content and do what he's doing now. Logic released Vinyl Days in 2022, and on that album he had a track called La Donda. Not only does this album feature an interlude by Fantano, since they're now actually friends, on the La Donda track he has a whole part of a verse talking about Fantano, saying how he used to hate him for not reviewing his music too positively. Denzel Curry is an artist Fantano has been very positive of, probably a little too consistently positive. Fantano has given every one of Denzel's studio albums an 8 out of 10, solo and also including the collab with Kenny Beats, which he gave an 8 out of 10 to. Somehow, I mean, up to this point, this has been a pretty prominent thing in this iceberg. But yeah, Fantano has been accused of being alt-right and a conservative, when in reality, if you follow his Twitter or listen to his views, you'll quickly pick up that he's on the left side politically, although doesn't agree with extremes from either side. Rate Your Music is a site for reviewing music and discovering new music, and Fantano happens to have his own account on there. Since August of 2018, he doesn't do any reviews on there anymore. Reason is unknown, but he's moved on to AOT. You can actually see what albums he's given 10s to. It's a pretty big list of 68 albums on the list. I don't know how canon these scores are, but they seem pretty canon to me. That Is the Plan is a channel Anthony Fantano ran that could be classified as a comedy channel. It's different from the other two channels. On That Is the Plan, he actually did quite a few shit posts which led to the iconic Fader article. That and the tour being cancelled led to him deleting the channel. People who aren't familiar with Fantano, I guess they might see where the Fader article is coming from, but I think anyone with 2 working brain cells can tell that That Is the Plan channel was sarcastic and just a joke. On September 30th of 2022, the New York Times released an article about Fantano. It's actually quite a positive article, saying how he's helping introduce music reviewing back into the spotlight, and the article mentions quite a few people in the music YouTube scene, like Sean C. and Dev Lemons. Fantano does interviews with artists, and he just so happened to do one with Oliver Tree, which may have taken a slight turn.
Let me make this very clear. I am a surrealist pop artist, part of the genre of surrealist art.
I'm a surrealist pop artist. I'm a surrealist
Let
pop
me
artist.
speak, Fantano. You invited me on here.
This is staged, of course. Still pretty funny either way. Not Bad is a more recent series on the Fantano channel. Like the Not Good series, it is not based on the numeric score and is assigned to albums which Fantano feels are underrated in their genre, which he maybe doesn't like, but does not want to give a formal review and score on. Remember Cal? Yeah, that guy. Well, he has his own mixtape. Fantano released a mixtape under Cal Chachesta named The New Classic, which is full of satire songs over a variety of rap instrumentals. This mixtape is just a joke and a bit of fun from the Cal character, and it includes such bangers as Hot Dinner.
I'm hungry, so I'm gonna have a hot dinner. Nuke it in the microwave, and I got dinner.
Bit of a dark one, but it seems like rappers that Fantano has worn the red flannel in a review of their music pass away after. As Hugo Ruiz pointed out in his comments, this includes rappers such as Lil Peep, xcxfalling, and Mac Miller. I don't want to spend too much time on this, cause honestly, I just think it's stupid.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
Back in 2013, Fantano got an interview done by Nardwuar. Nardwuar is a guy known for knowing a lot of stuff about people. No one really knows how he gets his information, but I would assume it's through people close to the person he's interviewing. This interview was done when Fantano was still a pretty small channel, but by far the biggest in the music reviewing scene. When Old Town Road was blowing up, Lil Nas X did a ton of remixes, one featuring Young Thug and Mason Ramsey, the fucking yodeling kid. In the official video for this song, an animated version of Fantano is spotted. He's the main guy in Area 51, and the concept of the whole video is Lil Nas X and the features coming after him. On May 6th of 2022, on a channel named The Needledrop, he has since changed his name, someone uploaded an AI-generated review of ANTHONY A.K.A. for the 10th anniversary of The Money Store by Death Grips. This is a pretty creepy video for sure. I don't know if the whole face is generated by AI, or if it's just the expression and the talking. Look, either way, it's pretty odd. In 2021, Fantano was actually featured on a track by Good Grace on his album Don't Forget Where You Came From. Fantano plays the bass on this song, and it's not just some meme album or a meme song, it's genuinely a serious song, and the song also features drums from Travis Barker. It's Food is a series Fantano did, which has since been deleted because it was on the That Is The Plan channel. It's a series of him making food. That's it. That's literally it. Honestly, it's pretty fun. Not something you'd expect from him, but he lets his personality shine through. Redfield or Redvile, look, I don't know how to pronounce his name, is an artist that's been making a name for himself in the underground for the past year, and he was bound to reach the Fantano. On one of his streams, people asked Fantano to react to a song by him, which he did, and he didn't like it. He kind of went in on the song, and people took a bit of an issue with it since Redvile is only 16, and most think he barely gave the song a chance anyway. Later, Fantano reached out to him to clear what was going on. Fantano did a review of 1L when the album came out, and it's one of the albums he didn't score properly. It's clear that Fantano felt extremely neutral to that album and didn't feel positive or negative to it, to a very extreme extent. This leads to, this being the review.
Keeping it together. I know things are tough right now.
And things during this time can get a little bit crazy.
Fantano rated the album a, this out of 10. Look, I really don't know. This is an interesting one. Negative XP did a song called You Shouldn't Be Allowed to Listen to Music If You Watch the Needledrop, clearly criticizing Fantano and other music critics. Fantano didn't seem to like this song. There was a little back and forth, but it just kind of died down. From what I can tell, Uncle Adams is a rapper and a speaker to which Fantano did a not good reaction to. Now, Uncle Adams didn't seem to like this, and they talked about Fantano and called him the needle dick, that's a good one, as well as saying how all he does is hate on artists and doesn't like anyone, including Kendrick Lamar. Has this guy actually watched the video of his? But on March 1st of 2018, they squashed the beef with Uncle Adams in a video. The room and setting in which Fantano does his reviews is well known and recognizable, but many of his viewers, including myself, were surprised to find out that he's actually sitting down while doing his reviews. He revealed this in a few TikToks and made a video about it. Apparently, he just has a really good posture, cause goddamn, I don't know how you can seem like you're standing up like that. Fantano has praised Death Grips' music a lot since the start of his channel and has actually never given them anything lower than a 6. The vocalist for Death Grips is MC Ride, and it's pretty cool to find out that they met and MC Ride was aware of him. They met at South by Southwest. I'm not sure during what time period this was in, but Fantano talked about it in 2013. Apparently Fantano spotted MC Ride and he seemed mad and angry, but as he was walking to the stage, him and Fantano met eye to eye, and MC Ride went from looking angry to smiling at him. Isaiah Rashad dropped the album The House is Burning in 2021, and it was liked by his fans and critics generally. Now, Fantano gave his project a light 5 in his review, and Isaiah Rashad took some offense to that. Isaiah went on a rant on Twitter pretty much accusing Fantano of racism, saying that he's too black for Fantano to identify, as well as saying he's not experimental enough to excite him or basic enough to make him laugh. Fantano didn't really seem to care, but Punch from TDE also agreed with Isaiah, which Fantano responded with inviting him on a live stream to talk about the whole thing. Punch declined. Adult Swim is an American television channel meant for a more mature audience. They host a plethora of shows and series, and they host a show by the name of Stupid Morning Bullshit, or SMB, and back in 2018, Fantano was featured on an episode of SMB. Back in the earlier days of his career, Fantano actually had a different intro than what he has now. His old intro was just him going outside into his park looking area, kind of like a woods looking area, and walking around, saying random stuff. Yep, that was it. Fantano seems to be a pretty big fan of Super Smash Bros. And actually really good at this game. Ego Juice originally uploaded a video of him and Fantano playing Smash, as well as the channel Zero. Fantano actually seems to be pretty good at the game, so I would assume it's one of his pastime hobbies. As many of you probably know, Joji was known before on YouTube under the alias Filthy Frank. He'd do a lot of disgusting stuff, and this is one of them. In a video that has since been deleted, Human Cake, him, iDubbbz, and Max Mofo take a bunch of ingredients, if you can call them that, and they put them together, and one of those so-called ingredients is Fantano's toenail. So technically, Joji has eaten Fantano's toenail. At the release of Doja Cat's Planet Her, Fantano reviewed the album and gave it a 4 out of 10. Doja Cat, as many artists have in the past, didn't take a liking to this, and she went on a 30-minute rant, 30 minutes, on how he should stop reviewing her music and he should stop putting out bad reviews because artists work for a long time and they put a lot of effort into their projects. Which, in my opinion, to throw my own 2 cents here, is completely bullshit because it eliminates the whole purpose of a critic. Fantano has been very positive of Brockhampton's music throughout their whole discography, aside from their last projects. So in Saturation 3, they actually mentioned him in a lyric. Head was clean, Tony Fantano, said Merlin Woods, and from what I can recall, this is the earliest a major artist has mentioned Fantano in their lyrics. What's in My Bag is a series on the Amoeba channel, I think that's how you pronounce it, where they take artists to a record store and basically give them a shopping spree, sort of like those videos where a celebrity go out to buy shoes. On August 21st of 2017, however, they had Fantano on the show and he picked up 10 records and talked about them a little. Some of these include Swan's The Seer, Fugees The Score, and more. Peppa Pig released an album called My First Album. Okay, even I can take that seriously. What just came out of my mouth? But no, there was an album released on the behalf of Peppa Pig, and it was sort of a joke online, so Fantano decided to review it. Thing is, this review didn't end so positively, as it ended up in Cow cooking Peppa and then eating Peppa. So you guys know meme review PewDiePie series, right? That series was actually started by Anthony Fantano on the That Is The Plan channel. He actually did 39 episodes of this series. However, with the That Is The Plan channel being deleted, the official videos are deleted. However, you can still find re-uploads of them on YouTube. Back in May of 2019, Jesus released a song called Aliens Are Ghosts featuring Travis Barker, and they reached out to Fantano to sample it. The sample is some clip of Fantano critiquing their music and issues that he's had in the past with their music. Pretty cool of Fantano to approve this. He even said that if they were slewing him, he would still approve the sample. This is, in my opinion, maybe the best interview we've seen on Fantano from what I've seen from it. I haven't watched it all since it's 3 hours long, but I think Adam does a great job. On the 28th of June 2017, Fantano featured on the No Jumper channel in an interview, but in the style of a podcast basically. No Jumper is a podcast of sorts that interviews various artists and people in the music scene. Fantano made a trilogy of videos on the Fantano channel based on making a thick vegan smoothie, as he refers to it. One is on the Fantano channel and the other 2 are on the That Is The Plan channel. Safe to say, Anthony has lost it a little in these videos. He's making a smoothie and screaming and yelling.
Hungry. It's breakfast time!
But it's pretty entertaining, I do have to say. Always great to see That Is The Plan videos. It is pretty well known that Fantano has a Patreon. There are 3 tiers to it, and in whichever one you subscribe to, it doesn't matter, you actually get access to an exclusive Discord server to Patreons only. Fantano is in the server himself, and from what I know, I'm not in it, so I don't know exactly what happens, but I know that the people in the server helped with the albums of the decade list for the 2010s. However, after this video, I will be getting in that server. Fantano had a podcast going on during a span of 2015 until 2018 from what I can tell. He did 60 episodes where he talks about various topics including guests. The last episode was uploaded on May 22nd of 2018, and since then there have been no new episodes. Someone in the comments said can't wait for the next episode in 8 years, and I mean look, he may have been right.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
A channel called The Learning Station released a video in late 2013 of a song called Get Funky. These guys, from what I can tell, do videos and songs for kids, nursery rhymes basically. And in this video we see Fantano getting funky and doing the monkey as it is described by the lyrics. I honestly have no idea what he's doing here, but yeah, pretty funny. Back when Fantano hit 222,222 subscribers, yes, Fantano did a special for a milestone by getting Cal to interview him. Half of the interview is Cal trying to understand how many subscribers Fantano has, and in the second half asking Fantano if certain people are nice, like Danny Brown and Nardwuar, criticizing his music taste, and just a bunch of broken questions that I honestly don't understand. Back in 2009, Fantano did reviews, of course, but a lot of them are now not on YouTube. Most don't even have scores, but apart from the Born Like This review, was brought to light recently by Fantano, where he does a rap over one of the instrumentals. He puts on a paper mask to represent the MF Doom mask, and the mask was made from a bag from the restaurant which Fantano used to work at. Cage the Elephant is a band Fantano had mixed reviews on. The album Tell Me I'm Pretty went on to win a Grammy, but Fantano only scored it a 6 out of 10. And I guess they didn't like that, as on their track House of Glass, on their next project, there's a lyric that goes, "Joke's on you, you needle prick," which maybe people assume is a dig at Fantano's channel name, The Needle Drop. On an interview done by Know Your Meme, a page that breaks down memes, they talked with Fantano about the meme review and the That Is The Plan channel. They asked him about what he thought of PewDiePie doing a meme review after Fantano stopped doing it, and he said that PewDiePie actually asked him if he can do the meme reviews, which Fantano approved, as he says he didn't really care. Pretty cool though that the whole idea of PewDiePie's meme review comes from Fantano. The official podcast is hosted on Charlie's channel, also known as Penguin Zero or Moist Critical, with a few other people as well. On the podcast, they talk about different topics than what you would normally hear on a podcast, and in 2018 they had Fantano on one of their episodes. From this podcast episode, we find out that Fantano likes to grind his meat to say standing up, and that sitting down feels lazy. I actually can't find much on this. From what I can tell, there were videos or segments of videos where Cal went to hell. There was a video I found detailing the whole timeline of events happening, but that seems to be since deleted. The final part of the saga is on the theneedledrop channel, where Cal is saved by a cat and he goes bonkers. Back when Fantano hit 2 million subscribers, he promised he'd do an ass reveal for hitting that milestone. On November 21st, 2019, yes, during November, I don't know how he dared to do such a thing. He posted a really close-up picture of his ass, which I'm not going to show because YouTube probably won't like that, but you can find it on his Instagram really easily. I mean, just Google it. As I mentioned before, Fantano has released music under Cal Chechesta, and in 2016, when Panda by Designer was going viral, Cal did a remix to it featuring Filthy Frank and No Fuckers. We've already talked about Fantano's flannels and their meanings, but there's one I didn't mention. The Infinity Flannel is one that has never been worn by Fantano. It was held up and given to Fantano by Cal for giving Chance the Rapper's The Big Day a 0 out of 10. It's a combination of all his other flannels, the green, blue, white, red, yellow, and black flannel. We may never see him wear this, but it'll be interesting to see if he does ever wear it. Melon himself, yes, the Melon, did a tier list ranking different types of melons on August 12th of 2021. He put watermelon first, which is fair, but he also had in E tier. In my opinion, this is racism towards melons. But no, in all seriousness, this video reminds me a lot of the That Is The Plan videos. Back in 2017, Fantano did a video on the First We Feast channel with Sean Evans, the guy who does the hot sauce thingy, you know, the hot ones thing. They reviewed a burger called the Impossible Burger, which is meant to feel like the most unreal and fake burger ever. Fantano seemed to be a bit puzzled by it, saying it did what it was meant to do perfectly and gave it a 10 out of 10. On the No Jumper interview, Fantano says him and Kendrick have actually met and have a picture together. I can't find this picture of them. I do remember it though, but I've legit tried my best, but it's just not there. I just can't find it. I wasn't imagining it. Look, this is stressing me out. Behind the Meme was a channel ran back during the whole commentary era of YouTube, you know, 2015, 2016, that era. And he used to take memes and explain them in a very literal and cringy way, to say the least. Now, as we've talked about before, Fantano did have his own meme review, and he had a parody video of Behind the Meme, making fun of him and just kind of jumping on the hate train. Behind the Meme said this quite hurt him actually, because he looked up to Fantano. I don't know what happened since. Videos I found have all been deleted since, but I think the beef just kind of died down. Back in 2008, that is a long time ago, I was 2 years old. Fantano was actually featured in a music group. The group was called Tyga and it features two members, Richard D'Albis and Anthony Fantano. Richard plays the drums while Fantano plays the bass. They even released a whole project which is self-titled, and on YouTube you can find videos of them playing live and Fantano going absolutely batshit on the bass. Fantano and Danny Brown have actually known each other since 2010. Danny emailed The Hybrid to Fantano back in 2010, which is an album by Danny himself, asking for if he could review it. They've done a little interview together, as well as Danny Brown telling A$AP Rocky about Fantano. Back in the earlier days when Fantano was coming up, he actually hosted a radio show called The Needle Drop, the same as his channeling, hosted on WNPR that aired in Connecticut, where he is from, as well as Colorado, Montana, Minnesota, New Mexico, and Idaho. SWMRS, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, I don't actually know anything about this band. They're a rock band and they used Fantano, somewhat, in one of their music videos. The only shot of the music video is one of the band members dressed up as Fantano, bald head and everything, and pretending to review cities, specifically Los Angeles. As we see, there's the pin drop at the bottom left, clearly meant to represent the needle drop, and at the end he gives it a 5 out of 10. From what I know, Sam Hyde is a content creator and a comedian. You may know him because he was recently featured in a KSI boxing card, and he has made a Anthony Fantano diss track. So I don't really know if they're cool or not, but it's for sure an interesting crossover. As I mentioned before, Fantano had a podcast called the TND Podcast, and Sam Hyde was featured on it. I tried finding it, but it has been deleted. This is another wanna type of review. In 2013, Young Lean released Unknown Death 2002 and Fantano did a review in quotation marks on it. In this video, he repeats how his hands are made of bread and proceeds to eat bread for a minute straight, giving the project a bread out of 10. A user by the name of Tyler Life on Reddit released a post saying how he just played the same song every time. This is ridiculous. Where him and his girlfriend have spent a good time together. Let's just say that. The song that he used for this, Seabat by Hudson Mohawk. Please take a listen. Safe to say his girlfriend didn't like it, but didn't want to say it to him. She told him and he made the post about it, since they have broken up now. But you may be wondering, where does Fantano come into all of this? Well, in a review of the project this song is on, Fantano put this track as one of his favorites. This is seeming a little sus, isn't it? Fantano was featured on a track called Every Drug at Once by Lil Texas. It takes moments of Fantano reviews and scatters them throughout the song, and it's safe to say the song does sound like taking every drug at once. Last.fm is a third-party website that's used to track what you listen to, and it can give you reports on what genres of music you listen to, of that week, of that month, and so on. Basically, a third-party tracking music website. Fantano had a Last.fm account, but I can't find any screenshots of the hacking, allegedly, but a troll had hacked his account and started liking songs with interesting titles, such as Come.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
Fantano reads a full fanfiction. 1 hour. But aside from that, Fantano back in August 30th of 2017 reacted to a fanfiction which has an interesting concept to say the least. User Return to Slab made a comment, basically a fanfiction, explaining how people are stressing Fantano out over not giving albums a good score. I want to wear this for X's new masterpiece, but if I don't wear it for the Brockhampton review, I'll lose half of my fan base. That being the yellow flannel. That aside, it gets a little sensual, but we move on. Okay, we move on. I've already talked about a few, but there's a plethora of videos from 2009 which have been deleted since, but some have been preserved and re-uploaded by people. I'm gonna talk about a few of these in the next couple of segments. For Father's Day in 2010, Fantano did a video talking about there being an age gap in enjoyment of music. It is his least viewed video, and that's why it's kind of a meme. The video is not even 2 minutes in length, and you can tell as the years have gone by, he's gotten a lot better at discussion videos, because this is not great. Give Up is an album released by the Postal Service back in 2003, and Fantano did a classic review of it. Many people are led to believe that this album is actually a 10 out of 10 or even an 11 out of 10. At a store, when someone asked him for an album that he hasn't reviewed to give his thoughts on one, he said Give Up is an 11 out of 10. Many people also believe this is a 10 because in the beginning of the video, Fantano actually did the old intro, which we talked about, walking into the woods, and even Fantano's look, the flannel, and their hair look like from earlier videos. What's even cooler is that there are 3 Kids See Ghost vinyls in the back, which is known for being a 10 by Fantano standards. It was released on the 1st of January 2019, and the review of the album is incredibly positive, as one of the most positive reviews I've seen given by Fantano. Fantano does Ask Me Anythings more often than I actually thought. There is one which I saw get talked about on the Reddit, to which one person replied, that being his first AMA. Back in fuck knows when. It looks like this was filmed in 2001. Fantano did a cover of I Felt Your Shape by the Microphones. This video was re-uploaded, and honestly, I think it's alright. There's a lot more as well. He does a cover of You Swan, Go On by Mount Erie, and many more. Fantano, back in the 2009 era, where a lot of videos were deleted, he used to take requests if you donated via his website. The user, The Telepathic Kid, requested that he should review this album, and he did. There is a re-upload on YouTube, and it's one of the highest praise I've seen Fantano give to an album, even saying if he could change something, he would not change anything about it. This is, I believe, the first video where Cal appeared. It's a skit Fantano did back in 2010, and it's what it says: Cal Chichester in a park. Back when Cal was allowed to go outside. He isn't anymore. It's a pretty fun skit. It's sort of like an interview as well with the lead vocalist of the band Creed, Scott Stapp. Again, this is a very old Fantano video which has since been deleted, and I actually can't find this review anywhere. However, there is proof that it exists. On his website, Fantano says he gave it a 10 out of 10, as well as on a Facebook post from 2010 where he shared a link to the review, and he says, classic album review, Wire, Pink Flag, 10 out of 10. Back in 2009, goddamn a lot happened in 2009. Fantano actually released a solo album. Yes, Melon himself, under the name Canopy. It's called Demos. You can actually still find it on Bandcamp. I checked it out. The mixing I think is a little rough. That's a bit of an understatement. And the vocals are not the best for sure, but it has a certain vibe to it and it's pretty short, so go check it out. This happened when he tried to do an AMA on there and the whole thing crashed. That's as much as I could find about this. In 2015, when The Magic Whip by Blur came out, Fantano actually reviewed the wrong Blur album. He reviewed a leaked version of the album, which ended up being fake, so he had to immediately delete the review. It seems like this video is lost forever, which is sad, but there was a video titled The 1000 Sub Shave. It exists out there, but I've done everything I can to find it, but even the Fantano video tracker says it's lost.
Hey buddy, did you hear the news?
Okay, this is a weird one as there is not much info on this. From what I can tell though, back in 2014, Pitchfork posted an article claiming that Fantano passed away. This was likely spread by trolls because I doubt Pitchfork would do something like this for no apparent reason. It turns out people weren't even able to find the article on the actual Pitchfork site just from the link the Reddit user shared, so he might be the troll himself. Later it seems that Fantano confirmed that he was okay in a deleted tweet, at least I assume that's what the tweet is. There's no way we can go and see what it is. It has been deleted. There was a explicit video of him, in quotation marks, posted back in 2015 from what I can tell, of him getting his melanate, should we say. For obvious reasons, I can't show this video. It was titled Suck My Strong 7. That's if you want to go ahead and look at it for yourself. Very obviously fake though, the guy looks nothing like Fantano. So when Death Grips broke up, they've gotten back together since. Before the release of The Powers That Be, fans started calling the cops on Fantano and saying that he could hurt himself because of Death Grips, because they broke up. It's ridiculous, okay? And Fantano made a tweet talking about it. I mean, he's been pretty positive of Death Grips, so I think, you know, if they actually broke up, I think he could off himself. Back in 2015, SBS News, which is an Australian-based news organization, were reporting on a shooting that had happened in Oregon. In their report, as a picture of the shooter, they used the one and only Melon. This was probably due to the confusion, as many people on forums were pointing out that the actual shooter looked similar to Fantano. We are into the last two, and I have to say, these two are something else. The theory here is in its name. Every review is personalized. Yes, that's right. He didn't give it a 6. He only gave it a 6 in your review. This one is really deep. I do have to say so myself. But it's just a theory. It couldn't be true. Right? Right? There's no way it can be true. Right? And that is it for the Fantano iceberg. That is the whole Anthony Fantano, the needle drop iceberg. Thank you so much to everyone on Reddit who indirectly helped me with this. I was scrolling through Reddit to find explanations for these, and I managed to find quite a few of them. But yeah, a lot of work went into writing this video, editing this video, and even recording this video took like 2 hours, okay? So if you can even leave a like, it takes 1 second of your time, that will mean so much to me. And subscribing would genuinely make my day. I noticed that no one did an iceberg video on Fantano, so thought it would be pretty cool to do for the community. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace!